Hey, Ken Goldie here. It's tax week. I hope you filed your taxes this week. So this month I want to talk about an expense that you don't get to deduct that's likely costing you tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, or depending on your business, maybe millions of dollars, non-tax deductible, but 100% curable, resolvable. The cost of miscommunication. And before I talk about the cost of miscommunication, I want to talk a little bit about the cause of miscommunication. Most people think miscommunication is caused by not being clear about what you say. This is what a lot of courses on communication skills are about, being clear about what you're going to say, or maybe as a listener, listening more intently and being able to repeat back what somebody said in a way that shows you absorb it. They focus on the words. Communication is about the words. How do we write our emails more clearly? How do we speak more clearly, whether it's one-on-one, to a group, to a large team, on stage in front of 1,000 people? Clarity of words. I am here to tell you that your words amount to a minuscule 7% of the clarity of impact that you can make when communicating with somebody. And that's an actual number. There was a guy at UCLA in the latter half of the last century named Dr. Albert Mehrabian who studied this, and he determined that the impact you make on people with your words alone is only 7% of the total impact you can make on people. Another 38% is the tone of your voice, and a considerable 55% is your body language. Your shoulders, your body, your arms, the gestures you make with your hands, your facial expressions, your eye contact. These things, your tone of your voice and your body language, account for 93% of the impact that you make on somebody when communicating with them. Your physical presence, what I call your physical presence, is what gives people cues about what to feel about what you have to say. Your physical presence, whether you're smiling or frowning or scowling or angry, whether your arms are crossed and you look irritated, or you're open and receiving, whether your breath is very, very fast and very, very sudden, or your knees are weak, or your voice gets very, very slow, or you speak too loud, or you get angry. These things give people cues about what to feel about what you say. And they can either support and uplift your message so that it lands better and is acted upon with more clarity, or they can undermine and devalue your message so that somebody walks away maybe having heard every word you said, but not acting on it because they're being left with a feeling that is misaligned from your intent. They're being left irritable or angry or confused or misunderstood or not listened to because your eyes and the tone of your voice and your arms, or maybe your whole body not even facing them, or your eyes not looking at them, didn't allow your message to land. That is the cause of 14 times more miscommunication than what was actually said, and it's something that very few people ever actually look at. That's the cause of miscommunication, that somebody's physical presence is giving people emotional cues about how to feel about what they're saying without being aware of or intentional about all of that physicality that we're giving across to people, because we're not guiding it. It's being guided by our mood, which is being guided by the events and circumstances that are going on around us, and all that's coming through us in ways that are miscommunicating our intent through our physical presence, our tone of voice, our body language. Now let's talk about the cost. I have a client who's in construction. I came out of the movie business, so I know what it's like to have 300 people on a set, or 300 people or more on a construction site, and you're renting equipment and you have hourly wage costs, plus all the back home office costs that are built in to the construction, because that's what you actually do, and equipment costs and labor costs and supervisory costs and taxes and overtime costs and energy costs and lighting and your warehouse, and all these things add up your whole business on an hourly basis. What is your business costing you on an hourly basis? And now imagine that one manager goes into one subordinate's office with one message and delivers it, and that this message needs to be acted upon at your construction site, warehouse, production line, wherever it is that the work of your business is being done. And the person who gets that message may have heard every word that that person said, but doesn't act on it immediately, because that person left them feeling uninspired, unenrolled, irritated, dismissed, not listened to, angered, some feeling that came across the manager's demeanor in communicating with them, or miscommunicating with them, that causes them to not act on this piece of information for an hour, or 2 hours or 3 hours or half a day or 2 days. And now your business, your production line, your construction site, your manufacturing, your design, whatever it is, all of your people, because of that delay caused by a miscommunication, not of words, not that the message wasn't delivered, but of demeanor, of manner, of physical presence, of what I call context and how it was delivered. And that's just in person. Now imagine an email. Imagine somebody sends an email which has no tone of voice, which has no facial expressions or body language or gestures. And they just rattle off the email, I need this to happen. And the person who reads the email hears it in their head, however they hear it in their head. And they hear humor as sarcasm, or they hear a request as an autocratic lecture in their head. It's just how they're miscommunicating, misinterpreting the tone of the email, because the sender of the email was not intentional about their tone, or didn't bother to pick up the phone and actually use their tone of voice, or walk into their office and actually use their body language to communicate in a way that would be effective. And now that person getting the email doesn't respond to it for an hour or 3 hours or a day or 2 days. Now imagine it's to a client who's waiting for an answer, who doesn't get their answer for an hour or 2 hours or a day or 2 days. Not because the person doesn't have the answer or because the message wasn't delivered, but because the way they were left feeling about the way the message was delivered didn't incline them to act on it swiftly and add up the cost in your business to the miscommunication of body language and tone that isn't being intentional. And that is not tax deductible, but it is solvable by having a training designed to allow your people to learn about how they are allowing external circumstances and events to drive through their bodies in ways that they don't intend, and become intentional and masterful about their physical presence in communicating in a way that allows people to not only hear what they have to say, but feel the way they want them to say about it, so that they ingest it and act on it in a way that keeps your business moving smoothly. If you want to learn more about that, give me a call, 310-739-2233, or email me at ken@breakthroughleadershiptraining.com so we can talk about how I can bring that learning to your management team, your sales team, your executive force, your company, to save you tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars in lost money due to the miscommunication of physical presence.